May govannen, niblings, I'm Eklinaar. Let's play Lord of the Rings Online, episode 126. So, I've got a lot to cover today. This is the first episode I'm recording since the big Beorning update back in mid-December. I had recorded episodes ahead of time to keep up with the holidays, so, my last few episodes, while they came out after that update, were recorded before the update. So this is the first time that this series is addressing the rework of Beorning. So a lot of skills have changed. The first thing you might notice is that I'm sitting here, not in combat, in bear form, and my wrath is not going down. That's because that's one of the biggest changes to Beornings. Your bear form no longer consumes wrath, and instead you have 3 different forms, all of which are treated like stances. Now, the stance I'm in right now is called Wanderlust, which puts me in bear form, but it doesn't have any combat benefits, and my bear attacks are not available to me. It just gives me a bonus to movement speed. So you can see I move kind of quickly. Not as fast as I would on a horse, but relatively fast. So, pretty neat if you want to run around as a bear. And then there's man form, which works the same as it did before. And I believe that wrath does not decay out of combat anymore. It just stays the way it is. So now, of course, I can spend wrath, like by using Hearten. And of course all of my attacks here still generate wrath in man form, aside from the beast form. But I'd have to go back into bear form to use my bear skills. But also bear form now generates wrath. If I sit in bear form, my wrath is slowly going up. So that's a pretty huge change. Another big change is that Thrash, the basic attack in bear form, now generates wrath instead of costing wrath. So I can sit here in bear form and use Thrash and continue to gain wrath. Now it's still, if I want to generate a lot of wrath quickly, it's still faster for me to switch to man form and use Biting Edge and Slam, because they generate substantial amounts of wrath. Also, Ferocious Roar still can only be used in man form, so I'd have to switch to man form if I wanted to use Ferocious Roar, which is also a very strong way to generate wrath. Hearten also still only a man form ability, so if I want to heal myself with Hearten, I need to be in man form. Now, it did reset my specialization, so I could go back into the yellow line and have Encouraging Roar, which works in bear form. But I think I might actually switch to the red line this time, just because I'm curious. I want to try it. It's got a lot of damage boosts, and I can spend more time in bear form now. So it seems like the claw red line is a lot stronger than it used to be. So instead of that heal and the Mark of Grimbeorn that I get in the Roar line, I now get this Bash, which is a very powerful attack and a damage over time that costs some wrath. And additionally, I get this extra attack in man form called Expose, which reduces the target's mitigation, and what that means is it takes more damage from subsequent attacks. And the duration on that is 15 seconds. So it would probably be pretty strong for me to open a fight with maybe Biting Edge and Expose, and then switch to bear form. Another change is that if I'm in bear form, I can hit slash. I mean, I have to have a target, but I can hit slash and it'll switch me to man form just by hitting slash. I don't have to click on the man form ability. Similarly, if I'm in man form, I can hit thrash and it'll switch me to bear form automatically. So those are pretty neat changes. Alright, so for my points in the red line, one thing I noticed here is this. This is the one heal that, well, actually, that's a heal that only works in man form, because this adds a heal to slam. So if it's in man form and I use slam, it gives me a self-heal. So that's kind of nice. However, since I'm playing alone, getting behind an enemy is kind of difficult. So now this is pretty strong, and I'll probably pick up some ranks of this eventually, but I think for now I'm going to put my points in bonus thrash damage, because I'll be using thrash a lot. Now, this would increase the damage of bleed, which applies to the bash, where I get all that bleed damage from bash. So that's pretty nice. This boosts sacrifice, which I'm not really going to be using since I'm playing solo. And this unlocks a new ability called Execute. I think I am going to pick this up. Execute does a lot of damage, but is only usable on a target with low health. And it has a big cooldown. So hunters, I believe, also have an ability similar to this. And then you can unlock improvements for Execute that make it do more damage, and you can use it at a higher threshold, which is nice. So I think I'll do this. And see, I'm getting these set bonuses where I do extra damage in bear form. Switching into bear form refreshes my exposed weakness buff, so that's this. So I can open with this, do a couple of attacks, switch into bear form, and it refreshes the duration on that. So that's pretty cool. At least I think I'm understanding it right. Alright. What else do I want to do? Biting Edge loses its second attack, but that damages a bleed. That's kind of interesting. And then I can reduce the duration of that. So yeah, that would make opening with Biting Edge powerful, just like I discussed earlier. And this is kind of nice. I don't know if I'll pick it up right away, but I'll think about it. So I think I'm going to pick up the Serrated Edge just to see what that's like. I'll go ahead and put another point here. You know, I think instead of Lumber, I will pick up some critical chance to then unlock using Ferocious Roar, your next attack will critically hit. So that seems good too. So remember, Ferocious Roar is the ability that gives me some wrath over time. So it sounds like opening with Expose, Biting Edge, Bee Swarm, Ferocious Roar, and then switching to bear form would be pretty strong. Alright, so this, you do extra damage when you remove a corruption. It's not really something that's come up yet, but that will come up once we get to Moria. So now here I can improve Execute, so I'm going to do that, because Execute seems pretty good. This increases my melee damage, so I'm definitely going to put points in that. I'm just going to go ahead and max that out, because that's strong. And so now I've also unlocked Relentless Maul does its damage in half the time it previously did. That's pretty good. Relentless Maul doing more damage, it might be more worthwhile now. Now this is neat. Bee Swarm slows run speed now. So that's interesting. It starts off as a 30% penalty, and you can upgrade it to 50. I don't know that I need to be doing that now with the way I'm playing currently. It is very useful. I think I'm going to go ahead and put this point into critical chance. So that's all my available points. So I'll go ahead and commit my changes there. Now, there's one more major change to Beornings, and that is Beornings can now wear heavy armor, which is huge. I'm still wearing medium armor, So I'm going to want to start upgrading to heavy armor pretty soon. Like, heavy armor... First of all, heavy armor has much more armor, which means I'll take less damage. Second, heavy armor tends to have stats more like what a Beorning wants. Heavy armor tends to have high might, high vitality, and sometimes will and fate. And might and vitality are the two most important stats for Beornings. So, all around, Beornings seem to have been substantially improved by this patch. And I'm rather pleased with that. So, I think I'm going to start working my way up to the Misty Mountains. This is a festival quest. I'm going to take that off my tracker. So here, I want to get on my horse. It looks like I have to be in man form to get on my horse. Yep. So I still do go faster on my horse than in Wanderlust form, which is too bad. It'd be neat if Wanderlust could match horse speed, but it doesn't. It's useful for going short distances, I guess, or for role-playing. If you just like being in bear form, you can be in Wanderlust form. Where's that bridge? Here it is. Alright. So, I said in the last episode that I want to do some more in the Misty Mountains. So, let's see what I have. It looks like I need to be heading up into the High Pass. So, I'll do that.
How can I be of service? What can I do for you?
So, I'll go to Gloin's camp. And then I think from Gloin's camp I'm going to ride to, this post here, the High Crag, and then I'm going to have to ride my horse all the way up to the High Pass.
Greetings.
That might actually take most of the rest of this episode, so better get to it. Look at that goat. I'm excited about the Beorning changes. They look really neat. Alright, and this is one of the giant quests, right? Yeah, those are the giant quests that I'm skipping. It's been a few weeks since I recorded, so I made sure I had a big backlog for the holidays when I knew I'd be busy. Happy New Year, Niblings, by the way. Alright, so there's this windy pass I have to ride up here. Now this will be pretty close to where I fought goblins a few episodes ago. I'm getting a little lag here. Still got some deeds to work on. Use Harden, right? I need to use that a lot. I'm almost done with using Rush. Just Rush and Harden are really the ones that can do. So here, see, I've got to ride up around. You can see the path right here. Got to ride up here, and then up here, and then up there, and then across that bridge. And that gets me into the High Pass. These wargs are chasing me. Alright, so yeah, it's just doing a Rush and Hearten are the only ones I can do. I can't really. I mean, entering bear form too. I can't really actively work on evading. I mean, I've done it before. You can find a creature that is green. So it's, 5 or 6 levels below you. Or more, but it's not gray yet. Like, you'd still get experience if you killed it. And then just go stand in front of it and let it attack you. You'll evade a lot of the attacks, and you can increment that deed that way. But I'm not going to do that on this character. I'll get the evades eventually. So I've got a new exploration deed to explore the Forbidding Heights. Alright, here's the high pass.
Well met!
So there's a stable master there. Don't have to do that long ride again.
What do you need?
Here's the vector quest. And I still have some time left on this episode, so I'll get started. Alright, I'm getting towards the end of the quest deed here. I do want to finish the exploration deeds. And I haven't decided yet, but I might go spend some time questing in Goblin Town, especially because Goblin Town...
Will you stay and speak with me a moment?
It is kind of an iconic location in Lord of the Rings. So he says, did Elrond send you up here? Well, it doesn't really matter. But the people in Rivendell are getting nervous that maybe Goblin Town is falling under the sway of Angmar. So they sent me and my lanky friend, he's referring to the elf here, to take a look. We can't tell, but there are a lot of goblins. And they're up on the surface. And the fact that they're on the surface and not hiding in their caves means something's wrong. So... scout them out, basically, is what he's saying.
Will you help me?
So the goblins have fire pots. And he's got a plan. They're making them in large numbers, but they're careless, so I should be able to steal some. Alright.
You may be of service to me.
So, Nogmeldir wants me to look for wargs. There are ruins to the east that used to be inhabited by giants, but now they're inhabited by wargs.
Govannen, might you spare a moment of your time?
He also wants me to look for an elf that was captured, named Glorwyn. He thinks that the wargs took her. She was heading that way. Okay. Looking good. And... yep. None of those other quests are quests that I am working on at the moment. So I'm going to do these goblin quests here. And if I find wargs, I'll fight them too. But I'll focus on the goblins for right now. Here's a couple wargs. Let's try a new skill rotation. Oh, I'm already at full wrath. Oh, well, I killed the warg before I could even switch to bear form. I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna... oops. I'm just gonna go and switch to bear form. I was hitting the wrong button for a bit. I'm doing so much damage that I'm killing them before I can really use a lot of skills. I might just stay in bear form for a bit. Let's try this. So that was Bash, which did quite a lot of damage. execute. Oop. Didn't really get to see the animation because I leveled up. So I'm level 42 now. Alright, any other wargs? I don't think there's one. Oh, did execute consume all my wrath? It did. That's interesting. So it uses all of my wrath? Huh. I'm not sure I like that. That makes it not all that useful if I have a whole lot of wrath. Alright, keep fighting some wars. So much damage in this form. The fact that I can stay in bear form and that I'm using the red line now, it's a pretty big boost to my damage. Alright, I need to look for fire pots. It should be around here. Or am I in the wrong place? I am. I need to be a little bit to the west. Up here, yes. This is where the fire pots are. There's no warg. I want to try execute again and see if it really does remove all of my wrath. Or if I saw that wrong. Maybe I used it all in Bash, because Bash costs 20 wrath, which is a lot. Yeah, it does use all my wrath. Okay. I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Maybe when I get it fully upgraded, it will be really good. But right now, it feels kind of like it's using too much wrath. Alright, to kind of heal. Definitely do better with heavy armor too. I need to pick some of that up. Let's use this now. Wow, it does so much more damage than it used to. That's actually worth using now. Relentless Maul, like it's really good. Oh, I have to be in human form. Who wants to be in human form? These fire pots. I want to see if using Thrash will switch me into bear form from Wanderlust. Yeah, it does. So I was in Wanderlust form. I used Thrash, and it sent me into bear form. So that's good to know. Wait, was I just shooting my bow in bear form? Man, I gotta... Oh, okay. Alright. I'm shooting bows. I'm shooting arrows out of my neck. That's amazing. That's clearly a bug. That's not supposed to work. That's very silly. I'm pretty amused that the developers missed that, but you know, it happens. Gotta give developers a break. I found the page. I need to move my bee swarm down to this hotbar. Or even just put it on my bar twice. I should start using this more often. Grizzly Cry, especially because it does damage. Small's so good now. I'm honestly impressed with how good it is. Alright. I've killed enough goblins, I just need fire pots. There's one over here. I think I can avoid some goblins. There's two. Oh, couldn't avoid that one. Alright. I want to go turn these in. Alright, I'm gonna jump off here. Hidden. What do I see that's hitting? Who is this? Interesting. Right. Oh. Hey, remember what I said about roving threats? That's one of them. Or is that the same one we saw before? It might be the same one. Stay away. Finish off this warg. There we go. Okay. Let me go turn these in. And that'll have to do it for this episode. This has already been a long one. But I wanted to show off, I wanted to both cover the update and show off some of the new skills. Take this out of my tracker because I'm not doing that one yet. But we'll see. Angmar will be next. Part of Angmar. I'll do part of Angmar, and then I'll go to Forkel, and then we'll go back to Angmar. Okay, so...
What do you need?
Yep, he says well thought. Fire pots were designed as weapons of war. The goblins are making so many of them, that means they have plans beyond these mountains.
What do you want?
Okay, and he's just glad that I dealt with some goblins. Oh, I gave him a fire pot. He says my beard. It's like one of the fire pots blew up in his face. And Aelin says we'll have to look for another solution.
Greetings to you.
And he's glad I took care of some wargs.
Greetings, friend. Will you lend me
And
your
I'll
ear?
cover this episode, or this new quest, in the next episode. Tune in next time, Niblings.